Thank you for showing up. We plan to show out. Capsxstudios, the Mature Life Podcast. Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for joining tonight.
We're excited to have you back. And tonight we're going to talk about marriage life.
Ye-
And to get us started, I thought I would look up some information because, sometimes we need to have some statistics to go behind things. And then I was curious once I got into the statistics of it. So during the census, when they took the census back in 2021, there was a percentage of the population that was married. So it had 49.9% of U.S. population over the age of 15 were married, and nearly 54% of the white population was married compared to 31.2% of black population. And only 27.5% of the white population had never been married compared to half of the black population hadn't been married. But the thing that got me was some 34.4% of black men were married in 2021 compared to only 28.6% of black women. That's where I'm curious about. And for white um, people, it was 55.5% of men and 52.4% for women. So I was curious, and I think we had this discussion one day in the car. Um, why is it that there were more black men married compared to black women? Because is that we are our black men are marrying outside of the black race, or black women are just not getting married.
I don't know,
He has an opinion.
but I always feel like there's been a certain dynamic in between black female and black male, at least where I was living, and you know the difference between there was a difference between, and this is just me, right? There was a difference between their relationship that I had with white women or white girls versus black girls. More of a difference. It wasn't all the time, but there was a difference. I think because the cultures are different, like the cultures are so different that people just respond differently, or their thought processes are different when it comes to having a relationship. You know what I mean? Like something, you know, I feel like someone, a black female, might see maybe stirring up some stuff that that she's heard from her aunts or whatever, and held on to it, or just the dynamic she's seen her best friend, or and I think there's a different response to with some white women that may not think of it as a big deal, but that's not. I mean, that's not all the way. I'm not saying that's like all the way true across the board, but in my experiences, you know, I just knew, I always felt like there was going to be some bull going on.
Well, and so then you're saying that's why there's more black men married. They're married to
I mean,
outside of the race.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this interracial dating stuff, it's been going on like since,
I
you
know
know,
forever because I was.
I mean,
in a
more
different circle.
so even it's even more so now, but even when in 1982, 83, or whatever, you know what I mean? Um, uh, I think, like, overall, like, black people have, like, their defenses up for their young black women, which they should, right? They should, but I think it consumes, um, the mind, it consumes it, and where you walking that every day, you know what I'm saying?
Well, could it be that they have a higher expectation for the men that they are coming in contact with, and so when that man doesn't live up to those expectations, then they may become resentful. That's why I always say,
Well,
if you don't want to be with someone, don't stick
yeah,
around to get
right,
resentful and mean so that you
right,
have to
you
break
shouldn't do
up because
that.
it's ugly. But I'm just asking, is it the issue between those two? Is it that maybe, and it doesn't even have to be just the women have high expectation. It could be
Right,
men have a high expectation of what they want to see in a woman,
yeah, I
and when they
believe we
get with
do.
a their same race or whatever, they come to a conclusion that, oh, this isn't working, she's not coming up to where I need her to be. And it's, or here's another thing, is it that when you go into a different or into a interracial relationship, is it just easier
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get to know that rather than to be
the
consumed
culture.
with what you already have?
Well, that's what
You
I'm
already know
saying.
the struggle, and so both of you are both know the struggle of black,
That's what I'm
blackness.
saying. The culture is
So
different.
you go over here, because when I was married, it was easy peasy. I didn't have any worries. I knew I didn't want any Mississippi nigga shit. I didn't want, you know, craziness in my life because I had seen that. And I didn't want, and I never wanted to go outside of myself and not be me. I didn't want to be in a situation where I would not be who I am internally. Just, for
Right,
me.
as you should. Everyone should, and people shouldn't compromise themselves with um going outside of who they are. I think that's what happens a lot, but I think it's just a cultural thing. You know what I mean? Just like I think we, as what I was saying earlier about, you know, uh, some of the, religions, or going to church, going to white church, going to black church is two different experiences. And I think overall it's two different experiences, um, in culture and the mindset of, and I think all that has, a little bit to play in meeting someone else. Um, you know, who's going to decide which way we go? And sometimes they don't, you don't even really discuss it that much because they see the bigger picture of being, happy, and one compromises with the other, in the perfect world. Um, or they stop going so much, you know what I mean? They just kind of,
Well, I
or they
always use
change
a,
to it, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's all about compromise in a marriage and relationship. I mean, the
right.
reason people, you know, and I'm glad I'm starting to see a lot more black women date or marry white men. I don't have a problem with that. I'm like, you know, f with who, f with shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole mindset has always been that. So that's why at an early age I dated, white girls, black girls, Mexican girls, Asian, didn't matter, long as they was vibing with me. But I think that's a bigger, you know, that hole is being dug as at a wider scale now, as far as the interracial dating now, right? Is
Well, I think it's becoming more acceptable.
Right.
than it was back in the
That's what I'm
day.
saying. It's like
And so now,
the
like
pot is bigger.
talking with our son, it's they don't even the young people don't even want to think about that mess. They just want to be who they want to be and love who they want to love and be okay with that. And uh, religion had a whole lot to do with as we were coming up who we were going to be with, focus, you know, the black family and all of that. But a lot of people weren't happy. They were fighting, they were bickering and arguing, and that's traumatizing the kids. And so I don't know. I just think that uh, that we all should be able to be with who we want to be with, and not have to second guess ourselves.
Right. Right. Right.
And it doesn't have to be degrading to either side. And you know, I hear a lot of people say, "No, I'm a black man. I love my black woman. I'm gonna stay with my black woman." And then I hear all the derogatory things they say about black women, and I'm like, "Well, it can't be everything. Everything can't be on
Yeah.
her shoulders to make everything in the world right."
But part of this is, of course, we're gonna blame it on social media, right? Because you're bombarded with this type of stuff. I mean,
I think it's clickbait.
yeah. I mean that clickbait versus there's no no baseline anymore. There's no
Well, it's
bottom
clickbait because
for
people are getting
social
paid
media.
to be derogatory, and what do they call them? Conflict views.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that and then, but they're not understanding that the mental of some people, they that goes into them, and they start believing that.
right. I mean
Mm,
that's been a thing forever, and that's why we're here in a certain climate that we're in across the board
yeah.
with our people that represent us. So, but you know, the biggest thing with me is like with getting married or finding someone like we were talking about, which we kind of ran off a little bit, but being true to yourself. If you know who you are, then you're never gonna go outside those bounds. Like I was never, I've never been a big group guy. I had opportunities to join certain fraternities and whatnot, but I'm just not a group guy. I mean, I was a group guy playing basketball, but that was for me a little bit different. But I'm not a big groupie guy. I don't like to, ride in a big group on my motorcycle. I don't like to, you know what I mean? I want to keep it kind of small. Um, and not that I'm antisocial. I don't do groups. So that's me staying true to myself. If and I tell women this all the time, with dating, like you can't be giving up years. If a
Right.
person ain't ready, they ain't ready.
Right.
You should just, you know, don't, you know, don't rest on your laurels to the aspect of to the point of years have gone by. You know what I mean? That in any situation, job, whatever. But we're talking about relationships. If it's not working out with you, you always have to, break away. Like my girl. What is her name? Lis- uh, what's her name? Lisette Michelle.
Oh, Chris said Michelle.
Chrisette Michelle.
Blame it
Man,
on
I
me.
forgot my girlfriend's name. Uh, blame it on me. Say it's my fault. Do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
right? And that is, that's one of the most important things. I mean, just to kind of give you a little bit about me and how I feel about situations. I've never been a pressing situation, you know what I mean? Like with women, and I always felt the vibe, you know, and because I'm proudful and I'm talented in what I do. So I never felt like proudful, like I got to go try to, mac a chick, talk to a girl. And matter of fact, when I was in clubs, I would talk to a girl or whatever, but I wouldn't stay there all night and buy drinks or buy her a couple of drinks or whatever. I would say, hey, let's make a date tomorrow because whoever you are tonight is not who I'm going to see tomorrow at lunch. So that was always my theory from a young age, young adult going out. So that was one of my biggest things because I need to get a vibe. What kind of vibe do you have? You know, and those vibes mean something. So many people, they don't pay attention to those vibes, or they do and they like them. So sometimes you end up in these relationships that are toxic. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's my biggest thing is that you already know, you seen it, but you ignore the situation, and and that's and I think why we're focusing so much on that really is because of uh the fact that if you don't know who you are, you'll fall for anything, and if you fall for anything trying to change who you are, you're going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're never going to be that person. We see it on Good Times all the time with, you know, dang, my phone, my notifications are on. But anyway, um, every time Florida Evans would try to go do something, go to school, go to do anything, reading books and part of the ladies' little club, he would get like pissed off, because Florida come home using, you know, probably at that time $8 words or whatever they learning. But actually, they were pretty smart, right? They
Hmm.
didn't use everything that was depicted like in the hood, but he would get upset, and that's that old school patriarchal mindset, right? But at the end, he always be like, "I love you. Go and do what you gonna do,
Hmm.
baby." But I think part of that because we got a bigger, wider range of people of change from women, standing up for their rights and becoming um, more independent in the sense of monetary um funds to take care of themselves so they don't have to ever be dealing with that. And I think we have a whole bunch of men that don't like that, young men that are being told about the old school patriarchal society. And they want to be like that. They want to be, and they can't, because girls or women are like, they ain't cowering down anymore.
Well, they've gone to school and they're proud of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the
So,
one thing that I uh, always say is if if you get in the car and everybody's going to Florida, you can't get in the middle and one person is going all of a sudden they're going to California and then you mad because you started out going to Florida. What's going on? So then that means at that point where the other person decides to go on off to California, that means that you have to be an adult and stop and say, "Hey, this isn't the way I want to go. This
right,
isn't the road I want to take." And
right,
so that you can make a clean break. But this is what I always say about dating. Date teen, not relationshiping,
right,
but dating. Because when you relationship, that's where you get into trouble of sticking around so long. That's all I have is time. I gave you the best of mine. You shouldn't have. You should have dated three or four people to see which one was going in the same direction as you and
r-
wasn't turning off
right,
going to California.
right. So,
So you take the time to
oh,
date.
you gonna have 2 or 3 dudes.
Yeah.
They gonna leave. They be like, I ain't
Uh,
competing for that, and
well,
that's what
and
needs to happen.
yeah, and but you do it as an adult, and you do it. start adulting and you can make
Right.
a decision together. You don't have to be mad when I see you in the street. You don't have to be mad when you see me with
I
somebody
got to be
else.
mad. I
You
got to be mad.
you just move on
I got
because
to
we
be
were
mad.
dating. We weren't in a relationship. We're just dating. We're learning each other.
You was the love of my life.
So,
What movie was that we watched when he was? Oh yeah, later dating.
oh yeah,
Later dating.
yeah,
That's
that's a good one. Y'all need to
dude
watch.
with thank you for his service, but he was jumping out of planes and broke his back. And then, he went out on that date, had the fine, light skinned sister that
Who
was
wonder?
dressed, was
Yeah,
provocative. I was like, damn, he gonna get her. Nah, he ain't.
he didn't
He
want her. She had
let
kids.
me, I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. Let me see what I can get.
Yeah,
Plus she had kids that
yeah.
was in the house. But let me see what I can do. Then he went out with that next girl. And that girl was like, "Can you dance? Do you dance? Do you?
I don't do that.
Oh, you OCD? You? Oh, I'm out of here. Good luck, buddy."
But he wanted her. He was trying to
Yeah, yeah,
get her. I
yeah.
was
She
like,
was
why would you go
fine.
with somebody who
Both
still
of
like
them
to
was
drop it like it's
fine,
hot
but that's
and
how you
twerk
do.
and dance and you wanna
And then you gonna come back to me. I'm second Sally.
yeah. She's like, I'm
You
already in a
got turned. You
relationship.
got turned down by the other. Now you want to come back. Yeah, he should have. He should have. He should have. He should have.
I
But hey, that's how it is. That's the part of the dynamic, right?
yeah,
Because men don't see themselves as broken down ever.
right.
You can have one foot, two knees, whatever. You're gonna always look at yourself as like, I'm the prize. I got it going on. Well,
And
and
critique somebody else.
right. So that's just who we are. That's just men. Men are prideful, boastful, we egotistical, all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, like I always say, you have to be careful because they say women are always, stuck at 14 or 15 but men are stuck at that way. That's why you have so many 40-year-old men just now getting their life together. That's why you have them from 18 to 35, 37, just like our son, right?
Right.
It's like, dude, you have spent 22 years doing nothing but learning.
Mm.
You've been learning how hard it is out in these streets, that is a class that I believe that he has a potential to give. So that's why for the women out here that are getting it, right? They kind of want somebody that's been kind of trying to do something.
Right.
I got 37 hours at the junior college.
Well, and that's
That's a
why I
start.
say it's a
You know what I
lot
mean?
of these women are out here and the young people they're not
Man.
accepting just anything and anybody. And they have a right to not accept that. But as for far as women go, I've got mine. I want somebody that's kind of getting theirs. And people, men, come along and say, "Well, she's trying to get my money." Well, she's saying, "I got my own money.
Oh,
Now what?" Well,
well,
what you bringing to the table? What do I need to bring to the table? Back in the day, I brought your to the table prolonging or extending the life of your name, and that was supposed to be a prideful
oh,
thing to
well, that ain't the man saying, that's, I mean, you married and we know, but like I always say, it's stages to where you dating in. If you dating in your late teens, early 20s, or maybe 25, 27, you want to find a wife so you can start a family. That's what you're looking at. Her family and what they do and what they got going on, and you start having your kids. But if you hitting 30 to 35 and you got two kids, he or her have two kids, then it's a different type of scenario. What kind of person are you responsible? If I need to pick up
well,
the
yeah,
kids,
yeah,
and then when you get 45 to 55, you still thinking like, hey, I can find somebody, 45 to 50, I can find somebody, I can still get married, possibly this, and that. And many dudes and many other women are getting divorced, and they like, the kids is grown, I'm done in today's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you spend from 45 to 55 with somebody that's not right. Again, that's crazy, but that's what kind of happens out here because people get comfortable. And something which you were saying earlier about this whole this whole bring to the table. The problem I with all of this mess to me. Early days, Mr. Kevin Samuels, bless his, rest in peace or whatever, but he was talking about men trying to get men to fess up to they ain't got shit going on. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you need to step
Well,
up your
that's what I was gonna
game.
say. A lot of these men that are
Yeah.
down in women don't. They're mad because
Right.
they
Well,
can't get the
well,
woman,
that's what I was
and
gonna
so
say
they are
exactly.
because I'm gonna let you go, but they have a little club now.
Oh yeah, they've
Men
been
that can't get none, and they hate women,
man,
and they sit around and commiserate. I
man.
said,
They
boy,
they
that's
they
what they said women did: gossip and sit
well,
around and
because
cry in their
men are
beer.
becoming like chicks now. Shit, that's you know what I'm saying. We've been like doing it, but we always said women, but especially nowadays. I mean, there's always a group of guys that wasn't getting none. There's only a certain amount of population, I believe, that's really even having kids, whether they married or not. There's a lot of people out here that are not engaging in any kind of physical activity, and they just stuck. I mean, it's just like or it's not important anymore. Some people just like, I don't even like it. It's like, I don't like cheese and I don't like sex. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but it all depends on who you are and what you are and what you want to do. But there's a whole group of people out here. But what I was gonna say is Kevin switched it and made females the big focus. And I said, why did he do this? Why did he do this? Because I already knew these guys out here were gonna come talking. They was gonna be like talking and all excited about
You got
talking
kids.
about how many miles and then
Mhm.
and how many trucks can run through it because it's been used so much and yada and yada yada. Even got some of the old cats, 65, 75. Yeah, that girl, she could run a 18 wheeler through there. And I'm like, you can't even stay up 18 seconds. Why are you worried about it? but but I knew that every Tom, Dick, and Harry was gonna pop out saying these women ain't got no this and they ain't got no that and
I'm a man of
so this is
value.
what I'm saying, the toxicity that's in within the black community. It's toxic.
Yeah.
It was toxic when I was in elementary school. The girl I had to end up like fighting, arguing all the time. Then I broke up with her, and then her and her cousin was about to jump on my sister. 2 years later, I'm like, why y'all like fighting all the time? So I had to stop them from doing that. So, it's been a lot of toxicity that, I learned to walk away from. I wasn't like, oh man, that cooch is so good. I'm gonna go to jail for it. No, not me. Not me. I ain't never thought of
And we're talking about the reason why we are focused on black marriage and black relationship is because that's what we are. We don't
because we don't
have the
see nobody
insight.
around us getting married.
We
No
don't have the
young
insight on the
kids,
white
no
race
old
or the
people. We don't know
Latino or the
nobody.
Asian or anything like that. So we can't first-handedly
No,
speak on that.
no.
But they're interracing and intermixing as well. And
I
uh,
just want people
so
to be happy, right?
yeah.
So, so
made you your marriage last? Oh Lord, you about to die.
Man.
Ain't asked him that question. Oh
Talk
Lord.
about marriage, people start choking and man,
What
I'm
what
gonna have to cut that. Excuse me, man. You got the hair on?
the Arizona?
It's mature life, boy. I felt like I had a hot flash.
What do you think that has have you consistently steadfast in your marriage?
What I do? What? Say
What
that
is
again?
making you stay in this marriage, man?
Them kids? No, no, because I got a person that is open. You know, she's a great person, a great mom. Has been a great friend. A nurturer. I mean, all the shit like my mama. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what. That's why it was so easy for me to make a decision. And
because I had 2 kids when we met.
yeah, I mean, I don't worry about like kids as long as they be trying to leave. See, the ones I got, they ain't trying to leave. No, that's but I got them. But you got to look at. You can tell a person's. You can see through a person's soul and see the goodness in them or the badness.
Yeah,
You know, you can see that, and you can feel it. You have ways to pick up, you know, energy from people. You just got to make up a decision if that's what you want to go down that road. So for some of you people out here, that's excitement.
yeah,
That's like the same thing when you have a person that has curated a certain personality and a vibe, and that's who he is from a little kid, the way he walked, the way he talked, his mannerisms, all of that. If you like that, then that's what you're gonna go to. I've seen a lot of women that mess with guys like that. You know what I mean? And they like expecting something.
and
And I
always
just be like
expecting a
shaking my head.
change, and that person is who that person is. It's who you met when you person you met when you met them, and most likely they're not going to change. And I always
Man,
say nobody's
yeah,
going to change unless they deeply inner want to change. Otherwise, they can change for two
man,
weeks max,
yeah,
and then they
man.
be right
People,
back to who they are.
people who are who they are.
So yeah,
You know, you have all these. Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians. Bill Burr. You say his name, Bill Burr. He is one of the most raw dudes ever. He was talking about child support or no alimony, and like Tiger Woods' ex getting $250 million. You know what I mean? He's like, that's outrageous. That doesn't make any sense. And I know there's a lot of men out there that feel the same way. You know, um, and there's a lot of women out there that probably said, "Girl, get him." That's why you. That's why you married him because you knew he was gonna have some money and you knew he was gonna be messing around.
right. And hurry up and put a baby on him.
Yeah, quick. That's the recipe. It's
And
just when you do it with somebody broke, you don't get that.
right. And I was gonna say they were upset with them trying to blacklist the one girl at the games, but she had babies by what 3 different athletes, and at different she didn't stair step them. So when this one ages out and he don't have to pay, the other
Man,
one's still getting paid, and this one too. Then this one age out, and by the time this one is done, she old and gray and have enough money in her bank account. She all
man,
right.
I'm gonna tell you.
But
It,
they mad, but they shouldn't be mad because they
yeah,
ought to cover their behinds instead of going raw everywhere.
yeah. I still don't understand that.
That's that
That's what I'm
diseases and
saying.
nasty
That's what I'm
nasty.
saying. These dudes be going raw.
Mm.
They be going raw, and I'm like, I went through the whole AIDS epidemic era. We was in high school when that came out. You know what I'm saying? He be yawning on camera. Look at y'all. Who am I talking? I was choking. So, even, but
I
anyway,
said I cover myself
but
up.
anyway, we went through the whole AIDS epidemic era. My mid late teens. So for that, just disregard that whole you know decade from the really like what 85 to 95. You
So
just gonna ignore that?
after 95, they just bust wide open again, huh?
I
I don't
don't.
know.
But the thing is, they say you ain't gonna die from it,
Uh,
so you
mm,
ain't gonna die.
yeah, now they
You
say
just got to
that.
take the pills. You ain't gonna die. It's just
Yeah,
like
but still, you
taking
passing it around. You need
your
to be with
shot.
somebody
They,
that got it
they s-
too.
well, they say you ain't passing around. That's what they say. And who says that?
You know who said
Alexa.
that?
They say, or is that
Google.
Google? They say.
Oh, look at her talking. She said they say.
Alexa, be quiet. Alexa be in everybody's business. But anyway, yeah, these relationships is very, what just watching it over the years, and my first marriage was kind of short, um, but I seen a lot of dysfunctionality in some relatives of mine. I ain't gonna put nobody's name out there. They probably batty wouldn't know anyway. But it was just dysfunctional as hell. And I was like, man, I am not gonna be doing that. I don't give a damn about no vows. I don't give a damn about none of that. I'm not gonna stay anywhere where I'm not happy.
Right.
I'm just not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me to be unhappy and staying somewhere. So, back to that, don't accept nothing other than what you want or you would give to someone. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. And have like I said, we're just all over the place, really, because you got so many things going on. We got people making money and taking trips and, girl, women. I've heard a woman say, "This if you ain't got your passport, you can't even talk to me." And I'm like, I'm doing like my son.
And my hobby is pettiness, so I'm gonna be petty
Yeah,
and travel.
yeah. So I don't, that certain things, but that's the way it is, right? That's where it is. I mean, and there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with her saying that. I'm just saying there's just so many different levels and choices now that come with the game. Like, uh, I mean, they're gonna start breaking it down in a minute. They're gonna have your DNA analyzed before you even get married, not the blood like back in the day. They're gonna have your DNA, see if you got any bad chromosomes or anything, you know what I mean? And you know, that's gonna become that's gonna be when we're in this transactional. That's gonna be when the transactional like relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's when that's like, what you got? You got at least 20 in the bank. Okay, check. You got a 401k, Roth. You got matching funds. Uh, what kind of car you drive? You drive a foreign? Yeah, I got a Mercedes. Oh, I got an Audi. Okay. You know, uh, you, who knows? Your parents leaving you some money when they die? Yeah. Okay. It's just gonna go on and on. It's gonna be, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't really even care. You know, sex 50 times a year. Make it 35 and we got a deal. Well, we make it 35. Can I have a side piece? Yes, light skinned it, 5'10",
Oh,
but
like that
don't
robot.
but don't look prettier than me. Done. That's where we headed. That's where this shit is headed. It ain't no more a baseline where you have a middle line and people kind of waver on that middle line. It's like it's gone. It's like it's becoming like you're gonna need an algorithm to really help you find a person, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna. That's what kind of like these dating sites are. That one that your friend got turned down from. I was shocked, but
Yeah.
looking at all these factors and what's your blood type? You got any kids? You got boom, 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 boom. There's no more. What do you call it?
Spontaneous
Yeah,
uh meetups. Because that's how it was. You could go you could go to the club, you could go to different places and just meet people and have a conversation. Now
man.
everything is over the the phone, text messages, and with text messages you can read into that between the lines. You could make a whole relationship out of one text message a man or a girl sent you, and they don't even mean that. That like on that show, the girl was so convinced that
What show?
this guy really liked her.
What show?
Later dating,
Oh,
that
okay.
she was just over the heels. Oh, he says this. He
Oh
comes
yeah,
to
yeah,
all of my
yeah.
parties. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere I am.
That was funny as
And
hell.
he
That was
just
funny.
liked her because she was
She
cool and
she
she
was
always had
like,
the parties.
so I was just on your page because you always show where the parties was at.
Right.
She thinking he coming to the
he
page and DMing
and
her.
he would text her and DM her. And so she was thinking that he liked her. Oh, he want a piece of this. But
Yeah.
because she read that into the messages. But that's not what he was just, "Hey, how you doing? How you
Hey.
feeling this week? Where's the party?"
So
So you have to have some type of conversation, verbal conversation. I wouldn't want to date anybody that always hits me with a text
but
instead of calling me.
you ain't
And
15
I ain't
and
out there in them
18.
streets.
You wasn't out there in the streets
I
anyway.
know, but I heard about it. I had friends that was out there doing their thing. Took a
Living.
wine, dang a line.
That's what they was doing, living.
I was living, reading a book.
Yeah, you weren't living. You was living somebody else. You was walk like the people in the book, talk like them, but
No, I was married. I was married early. I was married and yeah,
yeah.
all them years.
So what we really trying to say is that you're gonna find probably love or like real deep like that turns into love and maybe a marriage or maybe a continued cohabitation situation, which I think is fine if people want to do it. You know what I mean? They don't have to get married. They can just because people know, you know, like I said, I f with people that f with me. So I think you're gonna start to see people do some different things as far as uh, marriage, relationships.
Yeah,
Not what's the word?
cohabitation.
No, you know, thing.
Partnership.
Yeah, the traditional marriage is a. I can't think of the word. Dang,
I don't know, but
like a marriage. What kind
uh,
of relationship? You got heterosexual. You got
oh
Yeah.
oh
Like
shoot,
she can't remember now.
it just went past me.
A monogamous
There you
relationship.
go. I knew it. I was gonna say monopoly.
Well, it can be a monopoly.
Yep, it could. But a good base of reference and you always say this, is when you're in a relationship, treat your relationship like it's a business, not not have the love or whatever, but a business. As far as, would you allow someone to come in your business and take all your money?
Nope.
Would you allow them to come in and slap you upside the head?
Nope.
You'd be calling a popo.
Yep.
Would you allow someone to come in your business and throw stuff around and tear your stuff up?
Nope.
So
If any money
don't
is
allow that
gone from the
in.
bank,
Right.
from one of my partners, we dissolve and
We dissolve that.
we dissolve.
So look at it that way. Not that if there's no love and the emotions, but you have to take emotions out when you're trying to figure out, is this a lifetime commitment or not? Because I've seen some people that have been in relationships that really don't like each other, but um they like the what
The other person
the other
has.
person has, like, oh, this is the fun person, so I'm going to be with this person even though this person don't want to be committed to me,
Right.
he or
Like
she don't want to,
that's what we said
don't
on the
even have
introductory
like me,
video, right? Wouldn't you
but
say?
they like me because I can do certain things for them.
Right.
So
You in a
you're in a conundrum. You need
you in an
to walk away.
exclusive relationship, but the other person ain't.
Right. And I say that all the time. I say that if you think you are in a monogamous relationship, usually, I ain't saying always because I don't know everybody, I don't know always, but but a lot of times you the only one. And I've seen it over and over and over again. Now, I ain't talking about people that's in an open, honest relationship. I'm talking about people that say when they're monogamous, they no, no, no. It,
Get pissed off when
right.
you
So I
know,
always say it's one. If the one that's always saying, "Oh yeah, we're in a
is this what we
monogamous time.
doing?
This is where we are. I'm monogamous."
Is this what
Uh,
we doing?
yeah. Uh, you're the only one that's standing there in it because the other one is scoopity dooping somewhere else, and you just don't know
The
about it
art.
yet. Even if it's mentally gone, they
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, I mean, but it's always been going on. You know what I mean? It's just some people never got caught, and some people got caught, and
Right.
some. I mean, somebody got caught bad, like pew pew,
Well.
gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and some, and there's been people that had, women that had a couple kids outside the marriage. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And men that have had two families.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of been, but nobody's gonna talk about that girl. Yeah, I remember when me and Joe, we was 45. He had him a old side chick. He had two kids by her, but he didn't know Mr. Peter was throwing that Peter.
He
You
was
know what I
the
mean?
he was the papa of three of the ones in the house.
Because you gone and you thinking you the Mac and you got what you
Right.
got going on.
Right.
That's why I'm saying I ain't never been crushed like that from a woman. Like I've seen a lot of guys older than me, whatnot. I'm like, man, what happened to you? Tell me the sad story. I got her this, I done this, and like my boy Scarface say, more money, more money, longer D, and she gone. That's what he said. I got to look up the song. I'm gonna bring up the song in the next episode, but but that's not always the case. It can be the case though. But men and we look for loyalty to a fault, even if we ain't doing what we supposed to be doing. We expect you to be loyal or go out there and clean them sheets. What else are y'all doing?
Picking cotton and
No, y'all
having
was
babies out in the
cleaning
field.
them kids and feeding them, breastfeeding them kids and washing dishes and taking care of that house.
Yep, that's
Cause,
what they trying to get us back to.
cause I'm down on my luck right now. So that's what happened. That might be why the culture is kind of like that. But We did watch that movie way, way long time ago, Diary of a Tired Black Man. And there were some cases where they showcase for like, just terrible behavior and coming from women or whatnot, terrible behavior. And I've seen that, but that's just showcasing some. But there's a lot of, you know, black women out here that are, that are good or whatever. Because everybody has their different personality traits. That's why I don't like why y'all be trying to dump everybody. I'm not saying that earlier in my statement. I wasn't saying white women were better than black women. I'm just saying that the differences between our interactions were different.
Right.
And most of the time it might have been because the black girl lived in the neighborhood or 4 blocks over.
And seeing you doing it.
See me playing hot go get it with Teresa. Was mad. No, but it's just a difference in the relationship, the cultural
The
structure.
dynamics of it.
Because black girls, I remember one girl I dated, being call it Jay, you know, or two of them actually. But both of their older sisters got pregnant. One side, it wasn't no thing because she was the little big sister, like Baby D. You know,
Mm.
yeah, I used to be like, dang. The other one, straight locked down. Older sister was in high school, got married. She was 8th grade. I think I was ninth grade. I used to go try to walk by the house. Pops outside with a rake. I said, man, that yard look amazing. Because he outside every day raking.
They're making sure you
Ain't
wasn't coming
nobody
by.
gonna slip up and be by no window.
Right.
And I'm telling you, whenever I called, Jay busy. She washing the dishes. Jay busy. She's vacuuming. Jay busy. Then, like I said, I decided, let's walk by there and see where I can catch her outside. He, I don't know if that was a broom or a shotgun that looked like a broom. But the older sister got pregnant, man, in high school. I think she was in 11th grade. So, and they were churchy too. Everybody was super churchy back in the day.
Yeah. That was the
Excuse me.
era that we grew
Especially,
up in.
yeah.
And little do you know, because subconsciously you take that with you and you put it into
Oh, yeah.
relationships.
Yeah, you
And
do. You don't have a choice unless you start breaking and peeling back the layers.
yeah.
Like I say, you got to peel back the layers because everything you've been told from your parents, and you have to trust that were your parents bold enough to know some of the things you know they don't know, or did they not like even for me, like I always tell people, you don't get to choose your parents, and so whatever your like parents' relationship starts out and their marriage ends up, can they talk candidly to each other? Can they tell? Can they be honest amongst each other? So that'll determine how you receive information and how well they can work together on making sure you receive that information. So that's why the marriage and the relationships are so important, because when you get down to it, if your kids are getting bad information or you're not giving them any information, then you're doing a disservice, and you're doing yourself a disservice with being somebody for years that you can't even really relate to. So yeah. So,
Well, I think on our next uh, pod that we should um, talk about the breakdown of like like being in the relationship, and it's a good relationship. So how do you make that work? How do you keep that solid? And we can also uh, chime in on the open relationships.
I could hear you for
On
a minute.
huh? I
But I
know. So we could chime in on um, relationship, on marriage, and how you hold that together, and the different styles of marriage, the different ways that people choose to have their marriage ran. So what did you say, their dynamics of their marriage?
rules, policies, and procedures,
There you go.
you know. But that's important how you set it up, like a house, and sometimes you don't get to set it up maybe the right way. Maybe you have to go back and report lift the house up and report the foundation because you didn't know what exactly you were doing the first time.
Yeah,
If you're willing, like Omar Epps said, there's no breakup. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh, but two people got to believe in that. I mean,
Right.
that's what the marriage is supposed to be like. But to death do you part or whatever, do us part. That's probably what she said. To death do you part. But that, yeah, that's. I think that's a good segue into episode 3. Um, I just think that uh, I just think overall this initial process of getting together has become very difficult because of the fact of um, you know all that supply. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, you know, it is not really. They don't really even understand. I tell dudes all the time on like Twitter or whatever that be talking. I was like, I don't think really a lot of you guys know like the art of procurement. The things that you do, the things that you pay attention to detail of a woman that you're interested in, right? Uh, I
And how
think
to approach.
right. That's what I'm saying. The
Yeah.
procure how you. So I don't think that they really understand that because there's a lot of missing elements like music. Like the music today is not bad because it's not in my generation, but it does not give you a baseline of how and what women feel and think and love and all of that, right? It doesn't give you anything to pull from because you don't have any lyrics to go off of. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You don't have no
Mhm.
lyrics. You be like, I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna change this one word, and it's mine. But that's what you would do. Write poems. Write. You know.
Oh,
y-
we don't have Luther.
You know.
Luther need to be on our wall.
Yeah. Yeah. You see our wall. We kind of decorated it up for you guys this last time. We got some Trigger Hill gang, Beach Street. Uh,
That's old
so
school
that's Earth,
stuff.
Wind, and Fire right there.
We got some old school
Big and beautiful Fat
that
Boys,
gave you lyrics and set the romantic tones
Grandmaster
and
Flash, One Way, Pointer Sisters,
switch.
Commodores, Cool in the Game. We got
We got the
young,
Gap Band.
we got young. Your boy over there, Yo-
Oh, that's a Smokey.
young Smokey with the fur and the cowboy hat on. Now
Yeah. Oh, and we got some sexy Diana.
we got
Dirty
Bobby Womack,
Diana.
Funkadelic, like Funkadelic, Black. Who is that? That's the That's not. That's not. That's the Johnson brother. Ain't that the brother Johnsons? Yeah, Def Jam.
Pointer Sisters.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything. We
Yeah.
got Marvin Gaye and Teddy over there.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Ooh,
that him?
Teddy. Teddy was the everybody put Teddy on the what do you call them? Dub the cassette tape and play it on your
Yeah.
romantic evenings.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Y'all
one
don't
of
know
my
that.
favorite albums. I listened to it when I was younger. Uh that probably can't see it, but it's my man Red Fox. You gotta wash your ass. I remember listening to that when I was like 10 years old. I seen the album and they was gone. I was gone on one of
Church thing.
garage sales.
Oh,
No,
garage
they
sale.
wasn't going to church then. They didn't go start going to church till I was like 20, my 20s, 21. That's when he gonna try to talk to me about. Okay, when you get a girl, I ain't really talk to you about this. I said, man, I almost got a decade in, man. I'm doing real, real good. Thank you very much. But yeah, Red Fox was one of my favorites. I'm gonna try to look that up and listen to it. But we don't want to keep y'all too long. I'm probably going to edit this into maybe two parts anyway. But we really appreciate you guys. If you get a chance to come on out to YouTube, look up Capsxstudios,
Subscribe,
subscribe, like,
share,
and share.
and comment, please.
Yeah, comment.
Come
We
on, give us some feedback and some questions that we can kind of work
yeah,
with.
yeah,
Come,
because
give us
we
something
just
to talk
doing
about.
yeah, because we basically just doing what we do every night.
Yeah,
But I said we just need to start our own podcast.
because we talk all the time.
Yeah, we kind of be rambling and going on, but that's why I was trying to get some topics so I could keep focused. I mean, we could do it without them, but I'm trying to be,
Don't want to confuse you.
yeah,
We've
I
been
don't.
together so long.
Yeah, we
We
already
just kind
know.
of.
See, that's a part of it. We be like, yeah, I was saying, you know what I mean? Yep. But yeah, so that's the beautiful thing about being in a marriage, and being having somebody that, when you're really and truly good, there's no stopping.
Mm-mm.
You just talk, talk. You be like, what are we talking about?
Right. We at
I don't even
home
know what we were
all
talking about.
day,
It's
all
just
day, every day,
right
talking.
talking about these damn kids. We got 6 to 7 of them.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Now I'll
Yeah.
let y'all know what that means.
Yeah. We'll have it.
What was
We'll
that? Was
we'll
that
have it.
another thumb?
Uh,
Like, was that you? I don't know what that was. This new camera be doing some tricky stuff, y'all. So we gonna get it together, and we just want y'all guys to come out and enjoy. Some of our topics are gonna be, they're gonna be all over the place because
yeah.
we all over the place.
We
We
treating y'all like family.
Yeah, we got a little
Just
bit
come on
more
in. We just talk about everything.
understanding of where we come from. So with that, I'm gonna say good night, peace.
Peace,
We gotta come up with something better than
love,
that.
and soul.
Peace, love. We can't be.
Oh
That's
no, that's Soul Train.
yeah. That's
Let's think of
what
something.
we gonna say. What we gonna say to them?
Capsx Studio